Emanating from deep under the earth, spreading across the globe at the speed of thought, changing the world one brain at a time. This is the Final Order Report from Green Brain Comics. Welcome, Brainiacs. I am your host, Dan Merritt, Chief Purchasing Officer at Green Brain Comics. Every week we bring you a curated list of comics and graphic novels that will be going to print next week and are scheduled to hit the shelves within the month. We are here today to share this info and give you one final chance to subscribe and or special order before Sunday, January 28th at 5 p.m. Green Brain Comics and the Final Order Report are powered by Comichub. Check out Comichub online at comichub.com. Mobile apps available for Android and iPhone. Start up an account online or sync up to your existing account. Order and pay securely online and make sure you never miss an issue. Okay, I will be using Comichub today to show you items from this week's last call for confirmed orders carousel. Let's first sign into Comichub. Once you're in there, hit that green banner for shop coming soon, and you'll see the carousels on the top there. We have a current search. That's everything that's searchable from the latest couple of months worth of catalogs. These carousels all rotate left to right. There's preview pages, PDF pages from upcoming books, some of which we may look at today. Last call FOC carousel, that's the where we're going to be looking at most of our comics today. And the next Wednesday's items, that's all of next week's new books hitting the shelf on Wednesday, January 31st. Okay, back up to the last call carousel. Once you hit view all on that, open it up, and that now scrolls top to bottom, and you see the filters on the top for publisher, category, brand, etc. And we have alphanumeric below that with the red buttons. We'll be using this tool today to look at these upcoming spotlights. And the first spotlight we'll be looking at today is younger reader comics and graphic novels. First thing to look at today is the Shepherdess Warriors graphic novel from Ablaze Comics, from writer Jonathan Garnier and artist Amelia Flachet. This is from Ablaze Comics at 152 pages for $14.99. What a great bargain. That hits shelves on March 27th. Next, we have a softcover edition of T-Dragon Tapestry, the best-selling series from K. O'Neill and Oni Press. This is a smaller cut size with a soft cover, bringing it in at $9.99. Not too bad. We get a new volume of Judd Winnick's New York Times best-selling series, High-Low, this one called Rise of the Cat. And finally, we have the Mad Libs books for DC supervillain Mad Libs. Everybody loves the Mad Libs fill-in-the-blank stories about devastating superpowers, defeating superheroes, and planning the perfect apocalypse. Play alone in a group or in a secret underground lair. That does it for our spotlight on younger readers. Next up, we'll be looking at some new manga titles. First up in manga, also from Ablaze Comics, the Gannibal manga, Volume 1 from Masaki Ninomiya. And we get a new volume of Osamu Tezuka's Shakespeare's Manga Theater. This one collects the adaptations of Merchant of Venice, Romeo and Juliet, The Three Fortune Tellers, Hamlet, The Taming of the Shrew, and Othello, all in 304 pages for $14.99. Osamu Tezuka. And then a new volume from Denpa Books called Hero in the Demon's Castle from Inu Toki and Siohei. And then we get the ruthless commander and his reincarnated warhorse. Sounds brutal, looks kind of cute. From writer Sakashima and artist Nomoto Narita. Shipping on February 21st from Denpa Books. And finally, in manga today, we get the volume called Nude Model and Other Stories. These are truly unique mangaka from the author and award-winning series Blue Period, Tsubasa Yamaguchi. This is from Kodansha Books and will hit the shelf on February 28th. You can order your copy right now on Comichub before Sunday, January 28th at 5 p.m. Next up is our spotlight on original graphic novels. I'm breaking this section out a little bit. This is more mature graphic novels that never came out in single issues. Therefore, original graphic novels in this particular case in the literary genre from cartoonist Nino Bowling and publisher Drawn and Quarterly. This is called Firebugs. 164 pages for $26.95. Up on FOC again this week from Fantagraphics is Fat Cop, the new graphic novel from Johnny Ryan, that irreverent cartoonist who is equal parts juvenile and homicidal. Johnny Ryan, Fat Cop. And also from Fantagraphics, we get the Reading Love and Rockets graphic novel. This is a deep dive into the first 50 issues of the Hernandez brothers' acclaimed comic series. This scholarly book seeks to answer the question, what makes Love and Rockets such an enduring classic of the medium? This is 320 pages for a cover price of $49.99. From Fantagraphics Books, available on March 6th. And also on FOC again this week is I'm So Glad We Had This Time Together, the new memoir by cartoonist Maurice Velacoop, who's done a lot of work over at Drawn and Quarterly. I believe this may be from a different publisher. This is from Knopf Publishing. 496 huge pages for $35. I'm So Glad We Had This Time Together from Maurice Velacoop. And that wraps up the spotlight on original graphic novels. Next, we're going to look at trade paperbacks. This is all collections of single issues collected by Storylines from some of the bigger publishers in the business. But we get this this new graphic novel from Mad Cave Studios, writer Sam Freeman and artist Rodrigo Vasquez, called Hound. Looks pretty cool. Got kind of a Mike Mignola feel on that cover by Rodrigo Vasquez. And we get a hardcover volume of Heat Seeker, the latest graphic novel from the Gun Honey series, and from award-winning writer Charles Arday. This features an Art Germ cover. And this also has a Bill Sienkiewicz variant cover on this graphic novel, as well as this cover by Selena from writer Charles Arday and artist Ace Continuado. Heat Seeker Gun Honey Series Volume 1. Then we get a new Critical Role, The Mighty Nine Origins hardcover. This one featuring or focusing on the character Beauregard Lionette from writer May Cat and artist Guilherme Balbi. Dark Horse Comics brings this original graphic novel Top Secret Service to print from writer Zach Keller and artist Giovanna LaPietra. And we get a collection of the Tales of Suspense. This was a split book from Ashley Wood's T.P. Lewis, Chris Ryall, and Nelson Daniel. Collects those 4 issues in a 152-page single volume for $15.99. Looks like we got Time Squared Omnibus on FOC again this week, but this may be your last chance to get this order in. This is a new printing and kind of remastering of this old material from the master of the material, Howard Chaykin. And then we get the Predator vs. Wolverine graphic novel. This collects that mini-series from Marvel Comics, 128 pages for $24.99. I wonder if that's a hardcover. It's kind of a hefty price. Here's something a little bit more affordable. I'm not sure the page count, but I'm sure it's recklessly large. This is the Resonant graphic novel complete series. I believe this was 12 issues from Vault Comics, coming in at a very affordable $24.99, written by David Andre with art by Skylar Patridge, and this very eye-catching cover by Tim Daniel. And that wraps up our spotlight on trade paperbacks. Next, we will look at new printings. We've got some new printings from Boom Studios. This is a pen and ink reprinting of Grimm #1 from Stephanie Phillips and artist Flaviano. I like that nice brushstroke looking art on the cover from Flaviano. And this also features pen and ink only reproduction, black and white reproduction of the interior pages. The recent James Bond 007 #1 is getting a second printing with this slightly recolored cover from Dave Johnson. And we get a couple second printings for Cobra Commander #1, the new spin-off expansion of the Energon universe over at Image Skybound from writer Joshua Williamson. We get this cover by Jason Howard, as well as this B covered by Jason Howard. Then we get a facsimile edition of this iconic Green Lantern 87 from Neil Adams, featuring this earthquaking team-up between the Green Lanterns from 2 different cultures. But also maybe the first appearance of Jon Stewart. Yeah, this is his first ever comic book appearance as the new substitute Green Lantern. You get that in a blank cardstock variant as well as a foil variant. Okay, then we get a new printing of Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #4. Looks like we get a wraparound cover for that one by artist Christian Deuce. And a second printing of Wonder Woman #5 with that slightly recolored cover art by David Sampere. I don't know, that might be a Nicola Scott cover. I don't know. Looks very nice though. And let's see, next up. And finally, we get the original X-Men #1 second printing with a new cover by Elizabeth Tork. This classic tribute to the X-Men #1 cover. Very nice. This, keep in mind, original X-Men #1 first printing hasn't even hit the shelf yet. So if you're interested in this one, you might want to get your orders in by Sunday at 5 p.m. And that does it for new printings. Next up is second issues. First up in second issues is Animal Pound #2 from Tom King and Peter Gross. That #1 did really well, and this cover is beautiful. Such a good boy. We get a second issue of James Bond #007. Another eye-catching issue cover by Dave Johnson. Crashdown #2, that new series premiered recently from Sumerian Comics. Sumerian / Massive / Whatnot / more names. This publisher needs more names. And then we get Cobra Commander number 2, that next new issue, as a first print with a cover by Annalisa Leone and Andrea Milana. Ooh, it also has a B cover by Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. Cable number 2, crossing over with the Fall of the House of X from Fabian Nicenza and Scott Eaton. Dead X-Men number 2 from Steve Fox and Guillermo Sana. Keep in mind, a lot of this stuff hasn't had a first issue yet, though this has. Power Pack Into the Storm number 2. First issue just came out last week from veteran creators Power Pack stalwarts Luis Simonson and June Brigman. This is a classic Marvel family. You really want to get in on this. Lots of fun in good old adventure style. Let me get back to that. Resurrection of Magneto number 2. That first issue recently sold out, and here's your chance to get your copy of number 2 before that inevitable sellout from Al Ewing and Luciano Vecchio. Also debuting recently, Star Wars Thrawn Alliances number 2 hits the shelf on February 28th. And that does it for second issues. Let's look at some first issues. We get this one-shot featuring a classic Archie Comics character, the Jaguar. This is written by Carol Brown Ahmed with art by Tango, and this cover by Maria Sanapo, and this B cover by Reiko Murakami. From Dynamite Entertainment, we have Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft. This new series written by Elvira veteran writer David Avalone features interior art by Kuber Ball and this very fun cover by Dave Acosta. A cover by Kuber Ball. Lots of fun Cthulhu imagery in here. Robert Hack cover. That is amazing. And a fun photo cover featuring Elvira in this series. Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft number 1. Back to Sumerian comics, we get The Fog. This comic is a supernatural horror story that reconnects several surviving characters and their descendants from John Carpenter's original story to a new series of paranormal events that plague Antonio Bay, a small fishing community turned ghost hunting tourist destination. Now in 2022, something far more malevolent from Antonio Bay's dark past is roiling up from the depths of the sea. From writer Steve Ekstrom and artist Marco Fodera, with this cover by Christian Rosado. This cover also by Christian Rosado. C cover by Patricia Martin, very striking. A D cover by Alberto Massaggio. And then we get a new Rick and Morty series called Rick and Morty Presents Finals Week, Sherlock Holmes and Mortson. Sherlock Holmes and Mortson. Okay. This is from Daniel Kebble-Smith and Priscilla Tramontano. And this cover by Philip Murphy. And then we get a whole bunch of different covers from this new series from Dark Horse Comics and creators Tom King and artist Belkis Evely, who had worked together previously on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is a new series from the Eisner Award-winning and best-selling creative team. It brings you gothic sword and sorcery epic that's Conan the Barbarian meets the Wizard of Oz. Got this cover by Belkis Evely. Got a H cover, a last call cover by Greg Smallwood. I think we got that Belkis Evely in a foil. Ooh, a very nice Tula Lotte cover. And this from Elsa Chartier, another colleague of Tom King's. And then we get a new John Carpenter series from Dark Horse Comics. This called Toxic Commando, Rise of the Sludge God. I am immediately interested in this, and it's also featuring writer Michael Morrissey with art by Alberto Albuquerque, who also did that very cool cover, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. We get a new one-shot in the Godzilla Best Of series. This is featuring Destroyer. And a very nice James Biggie cover. Okay, so this series, Golgotha Motor Mountain, we don't have art yet on an A cover for some reason, but that is from interior artist and co-creator Robbie Rodriguez. This series is also written by Matthew Ehrman and is a high-octane redneck motor massacre. It had an even better description than this on the Diamond page. It's got some interesting elements to it. Very cool looking horror with some humor and sci-fi thrown in there. Golgotha Motor Mountain from Matthew Ehrman and artist Robbie Rodriguez. We got this B cover with art by Nicola Shimeja. And then we get the new series Six Fingers from writer Dan Waters. And he is joined by Lee Loffridge and Sumit Kumar with this cover by Tom Mueller. This mini-series premiere. Nia Novena archaeology student Johannes Vale has always been so very in control of his life. But when he commits a brutal murder using the MO of a historic and notorious serial killer, everything begins to spiral out of control, primarily as Johannes doesn't remember doing it. It also features this B cover by Tom Mueller, Lee Loffridge, and Lawrence Campbell. That's who does the interior arts. That's it. All right. I shoehorned this one into first issues, but it is the 350th issue, this record-breaking issue of the, in quotations, self-published Spawn series by Todd McFarlane. This record-breaking 350th issue features several covers and a storyline that is second to none. The Throne of Hell has sat vacant and empty since issue 100 of Spawn. After the death of Malboja at the hands of Al Simmons, no one has proven themselves worthy enough to claim the power of the throne for themselves until now. Spawn 350, a story 32 years in the making, is finally here. Who takes the throne? Who becomes the supreme ruler of hell? Who's a good boy? Spawn 350 features this A cover by Puppeteer Lee, a B cover by Todd McFarlane himself. This Ryan Stegman cover, a Brett Booth cover, and this John Glapian cover. Do we have any others? What else do we have here? And of course, the black and white Todd McFarlane variant, all for Spawn 350 with a page count of 48 pages. And a street date of February 21st. If you want any of these variants, let me know. Get your orders in through Comic Hub before Sunday at 5 p.m. Next up is a new Ghost Rider Final Vengeance series that I didn't have any cover art for. Here we do. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance #1 from, this is a Greg Capullo cover. This is the new Spirit of Vengeance. Johnny Blaze has bonded with the Spirit of Vengeance. Unwilling to be a monster, Johnny used this demon from hell to do good as the Ghost Rider. But heroism isn't what the rider was meant for. So who will be the next spirit of vengeance? And what will it mean for the Marvel Universe? Find out in this extra-sized first issue by writer Benjamin Percy and hot new artist Danny Kim. So this picks up where the previous series left off by Ben Percy, but it's going to have all that Ben Percy gritty fun coming in at $4.99, hitting the shelves on March 13th. Ooh, it also has a Mark Texiera cover. And continuing the 50th anniversary celebration of the giant size format, we get a giant size Fantastic Four one-shot by Fabian Nicieza and artist Chris Lee. We get this Brian Hitch cover. We get a B cover by Dave Barden. Oh, that's a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me of Fred Hembeck in a way, with the old headshots. And then we got a C cover from Ron Lim. Back on FOC again this week is Star Wars Visions. This is the one shot. This is a second one shot from Takashi Okazaki. This also features a cover by Takashi Okazaki, and he returns to the world of the Ronin once more. We've seen the Ronin as a Sith Slayer, but who was the Ronin before? See the early history of the Ronin and his Sith origins in this one-of-a-kind Vision special, featuring the Ronin from the first series of the hit Disney Plus series Star Wars Visions. Also featuring this B cover by Stan Sakai. And that's it. Yeah, and the Peach Momoko cover there. Very nice. Okay, and finally from Marvel Comics, we have this Women of Marvel one-shot celebrating the mighty women of Marvel, because they worked hard for this and they deserve it. But who you calling doll? Marvel's most powerful heroines take center stage in an anthology that will inspire, empower, and motivate fans from all walks of life. Whether it's the boss of space pummeling back an alien invasion, or the Scarlet Witch weaving a magical protection, the women of Marvel have got your back, featuring a story by industry legend Gail Simone, and more to come. We got this A cover by Carmen Carnero, a B cover by Elena Casagrande, and a C cover from Now Fuji. This is the Women of Marvel one-shot due on... Oh, one more cover, pardon me. This is the fourth cover by Zu Orzu, and a very dramatic piece that is indeed. Kind of David Mack feel to it. I think that may be a David Mack. I don't know. Nope, that's Orzu. She's just lifting the David Mack signature. Cool. Good one. And that wraps up our spotlight on first issues. And next up, we'll hit some upcoming events. Coming up on Monday, February 19th, the third Monday of the month at 7 p.m. is our Brain Candy event, featuring performers from various media and format performing and presenting to you. This month is poet Noor Hindi. We get spoken word from Tim Jones. Musician Jesse Passage will be playing music throughout the program, and we'll cap it out with the visual art of Quadre Curry. This all happens on Monday, February 19th at 7 p.m. And then we get a slight miscalculation, and I move to the next frame. And that is our next weekly Brain Scan, a live stream preview of New Comic Book Day on the eve of that very same day. This all happens Tuesday at 6:30 every week with your hosts, myself, narrating, the omniscient narrator, with the dancing prowess of my partner, Katie Merritt. We will bring you this Brain Scan Tuesdays at 6:30. And that wraps up this presentation powered by Comichub. Let's get rid of that. And we'll slide down here. Remember, the deadline for final order report is 5 p.m. on Sunday, January 28th. Oops, that's the one. Please remember to confirm the items in your cart on Comichub, or you can even send me an email. Send me a list of what you're after if you can't find it on Comichub. Get those orders into me before 5 on Sunday, though, please. So we hit those upcoming events, and now it's time for the sign-off. Thanks for joining me for the final order report recorded right here in Studio G in Green Brain Comics, smack dab in the middle of East Downtown Dearborn. Stay up to date on all of our happenings. We are Green Brain Comics on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. On X, we are Green Brain CMX. All the links to our shopping cart website and Comichub are below in the description. We are spreading the love of comic books and graphic novels from the heart of East Downtown Dearborn since 1985. Feed your brain at Green Brain Comics.